Hello viewers, today we're going to work on this BMW F10. This is the M5 version. The customer complaint is that he has some minor vibrations while accelerating on higher gears. By higher gears I mean 5th, 6th and 7th gear. It's going to be hard to show you on camera, but you can feel it, especially when you're driving on a highway on speeds around 130 kilometers. The RPM range which this happens is between 2000 and 2,500 RPMs. The vibration is not so hard, but it's kind of annoying, and that's why the owner wants to fix it. I'm not sure are we going to be able to do it, because it's going to be really hard to find it. Already several shops tried to pinpoint the issue. They have replaced a lot of things. I'm going to lift up the car, going to remove the heat shields and going to show you what he already tried to fix this issue. So in an attempt to find and hopefully fix this issue, we're going to use this equipment. So let me show you what we have inside. This is microphones with senders, and this is the receiver. So as we can see, we have a speaker here, and we can adjust the volume and decrease it, of course. So the idea behind it, as you can see, we have 4 in total senders. Take them out of them. The microphones, let me see where they were. I believe they were here. So the microphones are looking like that. We have 4 once again for the 4 senders. So we're going to place them on different spots on the chassis in a hope to find the vibration, hopefully, because the vibration is not so aggressive. It's kind of small and in a small scale of RPMs. So hopefully we're going to manage to find it, but pretty much this is the idea. We're going to zip tie the microphones, the 4 of them. Probably we're going to install one on the differential, one on the drive shaft, one on the gearbox, and yeah, probably one on the front subframe to see, probably because of bad engine mountings, this can lead to some vibrations, probably. Now I'm going to lift up the car and show you how it looks underneath and show you what the owner have done already. But pretty much this is the idea behind everything. We're going to install them, and hopefully with the usage of this we're going to be able to pin out the issue, because as we know on these cars everything is kind of expensive to be repaired. So I really hope to be able to aim the proper thing and just show you how it works. We are changing the microphones here with this. Yeah, I have 4 microphones, but as we can see, we can put 6 of them, but the kit comes with 4 microphones, which should be enough. Probably we're going to need to do several runs to see are we going to have some repeatability and by changing the locations of them, but we're going to see how it goes. Okay, so the car is up on the lift, and just quickly to show you how it looks like underneath. Actually the car is pretty much on really low mileage. I believe it was on 100,000 kilometers, something like that, and on a first glance underneath looks spotless. It looks pretty good. But actually the owner pretty much is driving this car daily, which is pretty cool. On the first glance I saw one of the tires that had some damage. Which one? So yeah, this one, as we can see. So here is the bump. As we can see, some damage have occurred here, but the owner already told me that he have tried with the rims, with the tires several times, and this didn't cure the issue. The other thing, which is the most common issue, is the rear CV axles. As we know, these F10s are only rear wheel drive, and he already tried with new CV axles. Right now I cannot show it, but he have tried replacing them, which didn't cure the issue. Also, he have removed the drive shaft for balancing to check it. They told them that it was okay. Also the gilbo joint underneath, behind, also the bearing in the middle of the drive shaft. They have replaced the flywheel, the coaches. I'm not sure are they have replaced the engine mountings. I need to ask him. They have replaced the injectors, the glow plugs, because probably they have thought that this from misfire, but this also didn't cure the issue. So now I'm going to remove the heat shields, aluminum heat shields, which are on the top of the exhaust, so to gain access to the drive shaft. And I'm going to place all the microphones on different places to see are we going to pinpoint the issue. So I'm going to start removing all the covers and going to show you how I'm going to place them. Okay, so little bit of update. The exhaust is down, so to gain access to the drive shaft, just to show you, here it is. I have installed the microphones. The first test which I'm going to do, the first microphone, in this case number 3, is going to be here, which is holding to the bracket of the gearbox, right to the front of the drive shaft. Hopefully we're going to see what sounds we are getting from the gearbox. Here is the joints on the drive shaft in the middle, and here is the bolt on the both sides on the CV axles and on the drive shaft. So I'm going to do one test like that, and we're going to see are we going to get some sounds. But now I'm going to need to reinstall back the exhaust manifold, so to be able to drive the car, because it's going to be really loud if we don't just reinstall it. And yeah, other than this, the car looks pretty good, pretty well maintained. We don't have any leaks in first glance. So yeah, as you can see, the hydraulic engine mounts. Probably later state I'm going to install some microphones on the engine mountings, just for clarifying that the vibration is not coming from there. Okay, so pretty much everything assembled back together. The exhaust manifold, the only thing that we are not going to install is some plastic covers and the heat shielding on the drive shaft, which is here. So just to show you how I have managed to put all the microphones. So as I showed you on the both sides on the differential, yeah, it's getting dark, but it's time consuming to fit everything and to not damage some of the equipment. We have put some aluminum tape around the clamp plus on the sender, because we don't want to damage it with the heat from the exhaust manifold. And we're going to do the first test drive, because tomorrow is going to rain once again, and we cannot drive with the senders while it's raining because they are not waterproofed. So I want to do at least one test drive today, and on the next dry day I'm going to change my strategy, I guess, if we don't find anything wrong now. So okay guys, I'm really sorry, but as I told you, it's getting dark and it's a little bit hard to show you what I'm doing, but I hope you're going to see it on camera. So right now I'm going to start switching from tone to tone, from receiver to receiver, actually from sender to sender. And I'm going to try to see what's happening, but as we can see when I switch, let me show you, this is the layout. It's kind of hard to do everything. So as we can see, number 1 and 4 is on the both CV axles, number 2 is on the drive shaft, and number 3 is on the gearbox. And just to quickly show you what is the sounds, I'm going to increase the volume a little bit. So number 2, once again on the CV axle, on the left one. Number 4 is on the right CV axle. Number 2 is on the drive shaft, probably the quietest one. And number 3, this is on the gearbox, probably the loudest one. So I'm going to start trying to manipulate the car and try to make it vibrate. And if I catch something, I'm going to try to show it on the camera. It's going to be a little bit hard, but I'm going to give my best. Okay guys, it's crazy loud, but I'm going to try to show you what I'm hearing. So hopefully you're going to understand me. The vibration is really small, it's really hard to feel it. Especially the road is not the best one. You can test the car, but this is what we have. I'm on the highway. So I'm on 6th gear and I'm fluctuating between 2000 and 2,500 RPMs. So right now we're going to monitor the left CV axle, and after that I'm going to switch to the right one. So I'm going to increase the volume. So let's hear it. Once again, left CV axle. So now I'm going to switch on the right one. Let's go on this is the drive shaft on the same RPMs. box. So yeah, it's crazy, but I don't know how else to show you guys what I'm doing. It's really loud, so sorry about this. Probably going to reduce the sound a little bit in the video when I'm editing it. But once again, I'm fluctuating the RPMs between 2 and 2.5 thousand RPMs, and the only sound that I can recognize with vibration is on the CV exhaust. Still, I'm going to move a little bit the microphones. I'm going to put them on the, let's say, on the engine mounts on the front exhaust. I'm going to move the microphones probably on different place on the front of the differential, because I have put it only on the sides on the CV exhaust, and probably going to try one more time on the hubs on the rear. Sorry about the quality of the video, guys, but it's really hard to show you, but because this vibration is really hard to be noticed if you don't know the car. In the first test drive or even in the second test drive, you are not going to notice it, but when you get used to the car, you're going to start noticing it a little bit. It's not so frustrating, but we're going to do our best. Hopefully we're going to find it. Okay, so round 2. This is where I have to cater the microphones on the rear hubs. As you can see, this is the right one. So yeah, the camera doesn't want to focus, but here is the right one. Here is the left one. On the hubs once again, on the top of the CV exhaust, one microphone on the front of the differential, and I decided to put one microphone on the top of the right engine mountings. But something that I didn't saw yesterday, I don't know how I missed this, so let me show you. I was thinking that the owner have replaced this, but maybe he haven't done it. So we have several cracks in this rubber joint. Yeah, it's going to be almost impossible to show you, but we have one crack here and one here. So we have several cracks in this gilbo. Okay, second try. I'm going to go on the highway once again, but unluckily for us, it's starting to rain, and as I told you, these senders are not waterproofed, so I'm going to try to be fast before the rain gets bad. I'm almost on the highway, but just quickly to show you what sounds we are getting from the hubs. So let's start with the, what's this? The left wheel hub. This is the on the rear. So pretty much nothing. This is on the right one. You can catch easily a wheel bearing when it goes bad on this method, because right now there is some difference between both of them. Let me show you. I believe the right one is a little bit more noisy. So left one, right one, left one, right one, and the both microphones are attached on the same place. So for sure the right one is a little bit more noisier. So let me show you the, sorry. So this is number 2 is the differential. This is the microphone which is attached on the front of the differential. But yeah, we have a lot of noise, wind noise coming from there. So it's going to be hard to catch something there for sure. And this is the engine. And as you can hear, probably it's not going to work out for us. It sounds like it's going to break down. But yeah, I'm going to go back in the shop because it starts to rain really bad and I don't want to damage the equipment. So probably going to wait for a sunnier day, probably tomorrow when it's not raining, and we're going to redo this. Little bit of romantic view of the sunset, and we are giving the second chance. Today it's not raining, at least, and I'm going to show you what we are hearing from all the microphones. So let's start with the left rear hub. Right now I'm driving on 6th gear. Actually, I'm going to go on 6th gear. I'm going to go once again between 2 and 2.5 thousand RPMs. I'm going to flip right there and going to show you what we are hearing. So, gear down. The right hub. As I told you guys, this is probably a good method to diagnose a bad wheel bearing, but I think it's not going to be helpful to diagnose vibrations right now. Let me show you what we are hearing. This is from the differential. This microphone is attached to the front of the differential, so because of the wind it's kind of hard to notice anything. Once again, 2000 RPMs. It's almost impossible. Once again. And now this microphone is attached to the engine mount. I think it's not going to be helpful, but let's give it a try. Sounds like a diesel engine. I know. So once again, I think this is not going to be helpful. So once again guys, the vibration is really small and I don't think the microphones is going to help us this time. If the vibration was more significant, probably then was going to be helpful, but right now, so small vibration and in this RPM range, I think it's going to be pretty much impossible. So I really hope that changing of this rubber gilbo joint on the drive shaft, which I showed on the front of the drive shaft, we're going to cure the issue, because as we saw, it's weared out, it has some breakage on it, so for sure we're going to change it. I have ordered it already, but I'm still waiting for it to come. So yeah, I hope this, but if this not fix the issue, the next suspect probably is going to be the CV exhaust, because I cannot find anything wrong else than this. And as we heard on the microphones, the first test on the CV exhaust, there was some strange noises, like some kind of vibration on them while we were attached on the differential side. So yeah, let's give it a try with the rubber joint and hope for the best. Okay, so a little bit of update. I don't remember did I film that we have installed the brand new gilbo joint, as you can see there. So brand new OEM gilbo joint with all new bolts. I have replaced the gaskets on the exhaust manifold, also the nuts on the both sides, so to be sure that we are not going to have any exhaust leaks. And now the owner decided that he wants to check the rear suspension, and we have found out some issues. These two arms, let's call them, or something like that, I have already installed one of it. Now I'm going to install on the other side. As you can see, we're using the OEM ones. Actually, we have some tiny amount of wear on these bushings also, but this bushing is coming with the whole control arm, which is around 1000 euro. So for now, he's going to live with this. So we're going to change only these arms here, which is connecting the hub to this control arm. And yeah, actually I have talked to the owner. He told me that previously he thinks that when he have redundant adaptations on the Valvetronic, probably he have fixed for small amount of time the vibration issue. So I'm going to try to redo this and see is it going to do the same. I'm going to redundant adaptations from the Valvetronics on the both cylinder heads. I'm going to do a test drive and going to see is this going to disappear, the vibration. If this happens, I don't know is it a good or bad news, because this means we're going to have some anomaly in the Valvetronic system, which is not so cheap on these engines. So I'm going to give it a try and we're going to see. Okay guys, so I'm done with the suspension. I have assembled all the rear suspension now. We're going to attempt to do the adaptations on the Valvetronic. I'm going to show you what the owner sent me. So this is what codes he had previously, so hopefully you guys are going to be able to see it. Valvetronic System 2, and after that he have tried to do the adaptations, and he told me that he have managed to do it, but the second time he tried, something got wrong and he did not manage to do it right now. Now I'm going to see what fault codes we have in the car. If everything is okay, I'm going to try to redo the adaptations. We're going to do a test drive and we're going to see how the car behaves, because yes, if you have something wrong with the combustion chamber, which comes from the Valvetronic, from the injectors, from the spark plugs and so on, everything involving the combustion inside the engine, it's possible this to make some vibrations on certain RPMs. It's not impossible. So we're going to try this. We're going to see how it behaves after hopefully we manage to do the adaptations. Okay, so just to quickly show you that we are done with the scan, and to show you that we are not going to have anything related to the engine. Still, let me show you the fault codes. This is all the fault codes we have. Power window, some deactivation of the CAS, which is not going to be related. Yeah, anything from here is not going to be related to our issue for sure. So I'm getting this strange check communication with both engine control units code, and I'm not managing to do the Valvetronic lift adaptation for some reason. No matter if the engine is started or shut it off, still I'm not managing to do it for some reason. The owner told me that he had the same issue. That's why I told him that I'm going to try with my ISTA to see if it's going to be doable. I'm going to try with the launch actually. Let's see if the launch going to be capable of doing this. I guess a good old launch is going to do the job. I'm not sure why ISTA did not want it to perform the adaptations. So this is a passive valve lift value adaptation. It's not like the active one, but still it should do the job. As we can see, it's going to take roughly 11, actually it was around 12 minutes. So we're going to need to wait for it, and after that do a test drive and see is this really going to make some difference, because the owner said that after he have done this, he have seen some improvement, but he was not exactly sure. So that's why we're going to try it, we're going to see. So as you can see, adaptation was completed successfully, and now we need to stop up the engine and continue. Service function finished. So now let's do a test drive and see what is going to happen. And yeah, as expected, it didn't make any difference with the resetting of the adaptations of the Valvetronic. It's pretty much the same. Yeah, after the resetting of all the adaptations, still the same. So I have talked to the owner once again, just to tell him that we don't have any luck with it, and once again to discuss with him what he have done previously, so to know what is the next step that we're going to go. He have told me that he have replaced the engine bushings, he have replaced once again the injectors, the spark plugs, he have replaced even the MAF sensors and the Lambda sensors. Once again I have told you that he have replaced the flywheel and everything on. But still the interesting thing is that when we have this vibration, I can feel it through the steering wheel. That's why I am thinking that this is coming either from the engine, either from the gearbox, or either on the engine bushings. But once again, he have told me that he have replaced them with OEM ones. The only thing that I can think of that he haven't tried by any means that we can try easily is to replace the MAP sensors. And yeah, we're not going to replace them because luckily enough, I'm not just going to start changing stuff, because as you can see, the MAP sensors is located here on the intercooler on the both sides, because we have two MAP sensors and two MAP sensors. Once again, he have already replaced the MAP sensors because previously he had some issues with them, plus the Lambda sensors. Once again, I'm not going to order new ones because we have one more S63 in the shop, on which I have talked to the owner and he's okay to try with his MAP sensors. Once again, they're on the same place here behind the air filters housings. So I'm going to remove the air filter housings on the both cars. I'm going to I'm going to transfer the map sensors on the F10, and once again we're going to do one test drive just to see what is happening. Because it's really strange case here, I am not 100% sure what other can be done this. Yeah, I know there are other things like the sensors on the Valvetronics, the motors of the Valvetronics, the vanuses. There is a lot of other things, but this is one of the easiest things that we can do right now, without disassembling the engine. Even the turbochargers can contribute somehow with this, if the issue is somehow in the combustion in the cylinder chamber. Okay, so I have replaced the map sensors. This is the map sensors from the F10. Right now the car was running the F12 map sensors, and guys, believe it or not, but I can feel a drastic difference before and after. So go diagnose this. Diagnostic, guys. Map sensors causing small amount of vibrations on RPMs between 2 and 2.5 thousand RPMs. I don't know what to say. This is almost impossible to diagnose it without knowing it. So of course I'm going to leave the owner to have the final word. He's going to test his car after a few days, because after so many drivings I probably am missing something, because the vibrations once again is really small, but I think there is a difference. It's not a new map sensors, it's map sensors from a different engine, let's say. Still the other car is pretty much on the same mileage. I think it was once again on 120,000 kilometers, so pretty much the same as this engine. But the owner said to me that previously the car was running K and N air filters, and he's suspecting that that's why his air mass meters failed, because of the oil for the air filters. I don't know, is it possible this to contribute to an early failure of the map sensors? Most likely not, I believe. I haven't heard it anywhere. I'm going to wait for the owner for a closure. It's going to be interesting to hear from him. So for now we're going to end up here, and I'm going to come back after a few days, or after a few seconds for you guys. So after a few weeks the owner have took the car. He sent me some feedback about it, and pretty much the feedback is the same as I told you. The vibration on 5th and 6th gear is gone, and the only thing that it left is on 7th gear. Still on 7th gear is much more less noticeable than before. So for sure the map sensors was one of the main issues, but still there is some small amount of vibration left, which we still cannot figure out from where it came, because the owner took the car after we have changed the map sensors. Now the car is in a different city, let's say. Still, the next approach which we can do to try to fix this is probably, I don't know, maybe test the turbochargers or something like that. I'm not sure, but still there is a lot of improvement, no doubt about it. The owner confirmed it, and actually he wrote me that he's really interested if some of you guys can suggest something else which can lead to 100% fix of these vibrations. As I told in the video, probably this thing is going to be related to the mixture, once again probably with the air, which can contribute to this. Just wanted to clarify, the owner felt the same thing that I felt with the car when I was driving it. Pretty much 90% of the vibration, 80-90% of the vibration is fixed, but still there is so small amount left. If we have some update, I'm going to do second part of the video, because right now the owner has his other car here in the shop, which is once again pretty interesting. So this is his other car. This is not a regular X5, this is the X5 E58, kind of popular car, but this is one of the most rarest one. This is with the 4.8 liter engine, which is the M-Power version, let's say, on the E58. Actually E53, sorry, I don't know why I said 58, E53. We're going to see each other in the next video.